Hey everybody, happy Thursday. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe we are nearing the end of this particular group. I love sharing this particular piece of my story, especially now that we are on like what we'd see as the tail end of things. And I never imagined that I would be sharing my story the way that I do with others. And I want to just give information on how that came to be. I've always been an extrovert. I love talking to people. I love meeting new people and all of those things. But never in my wildest dreams did I ever see myself hosting groups and, friend requesting people I've never, personally known or wouldn't welcome into my home or haven't already been in my home or anything like that. And I was invited to do what's called coaching, and it was specifically for health and fitness. And so I'm a Beachbody coach, and through working on myself, and I joined for personal accountability reasons. I had gestational diabetes with my first pregnancy, or with one of my pregnancies, and then hoped that I wouldn't gain it again with another. And so I needed accountability to stay healthy and fit, and I ventured into really embarking on my personal health and fitness journey. And through doing that, that's when I chose to become a coach, because it really, held me accountable, and has since then. But being a coach is where I was entered into the idea of reading a personal development book and reading a business development book and daring to dream. I definitely wasn't raised in an environment that, dreams were, being in the clouds, and, you just get a job and you work as long as you possibly can, and that's just your life. And what's retirement? You usually cash out on your retirement. We were not raised with very good values monetarily, and values in the sense of longevity, good careers and that type of thing. And it's kind of different because I was raised by a single mom who then got married, and, amazing husband. He's always been good to me, but, at the same time, it was just paycheck to paycheck. And then I have on the other end, my biological father, who they are very career driven. And that's it. It was never for anything. It has never been for anything more than self. And, being able to have a concept of living like nobody else so that you can live like nobody else and give like nobody else, that was not anything that I ever imagined being able to do. And one of the first things that I heard when I was venturing into working from home was, an invite to coaching. And this particular coach said, I'm living like nobody else so I can give like nobody else. And I was like, oh, I've heard that before. Oh my goodness, she loves Dave Ramsey. And she did. She does love Dave Ramsey. And the purpose of what she did was to help change lives, retire her parents, and do things, create a legacy for her family and those around her. And she has an army, and I'm one of those people. And with that army, I have been able to just really be able to say yes to things I never imagined that I would. And it was through me venturing into the idea of coaching, because it changes me from the inside out. And so if ever you have any questions on specifically what I do and how I do it, I would love to share more information with you specifically on my job and how I am able to bring in an income for my family simply from working out at home, drinking a shake, and just living a healthy and fit life, and sharing it with others. That's how I'm able to do it and provide my family with the best nutrition, and I wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. And I get to host groups like this. This idea of hosting groups came from coaching. And so if I hadn't become a coach, many of you here on this group, I would not have known. I mean, that's just the plain reality. I was reflecting on the number of friends that I have that I've never met in my life that I just love and adore. And with that, it brings me great gratitude. But also to say, like, what if I had given up a year ago or 2 years ago? I'm approaching my 3-year anniversary in May, and the value of relationships that I have been able to build because of coaching is just, it is immeasurable. And so I just wanted to share that piece of information with you. Like I said, I owned Dave Ramsey DVDs and the book beforehand. It wasn't something that I had, after purchasing or becoming a coach, but I had never read them. They were just sitting on my shelf. So dusting them off and pressing play essentially came from, and it was a desire that was built up through coaching. And of course through, yes, an emergency, state of emergency with our particular marriage and finances. But, God works in mysterious ways, and it has just been awesome to just be able to see that work out. So that's something that my husband and I have learned. There's a legacy as far as eternally, and wanting our children to love the Lord and follow in his ways. That's something that we understand, that it is not simply by us saying, it is by us living it. And that is not for the faint of heart. Parenting isn't, and being a good witness is not for the faint of heart. But also, something like finances or the job that we do, or pursuing dreams and really believing that you can do what God has instilled for you to be able to do. Like my oldest son wants to be an architect, and I believe he can do that. And so he's into coding and Minecraft. And I understand, like, gaming and that type of world could be frowned upon. But I believe that it can be something that can be used of benefits, obviously when used within limits and that type of thing. And then my other son, he wants to be a zookeeper. And, one might say, oh my gosh, zookeepers don't make a lot of money or anything like that. And of course, I would definitely move him into a direction that he was going to be lucrative, but not always in the sense of money, but just having firm foundations. And these are ways that you can build good legacies for your children, to where they don't have to feel like they have to make hundreds of thousands of dollars in order to live. I shared in one of my other videos about my 10-year-old sharing that he wants to already open up a savings account to be able to start saving for his home. And I believe he can do that. And so this has taught us to be able to grow our money. Now, we're not in that place, but when we are ready to start growing our money, because we're kind of following the baby step guidelines, but when we're ready to start growing our money, we're going to follow the guidelines that Dave Ramsey has set before us, because why not? I mean, this guy, he didn't come from a place of, oh, well, I've always been a millionaire and I've inherited this amazing amount of money or anything like that. He came from a place of hardship. He came from a place very much like where my husband and I were, debt, broken marriage, or, near to be broken marriage. And God restored his marriage through him looking into the Bible and applying the biblical principles that it has to say about money. And so then he's turned that into helping others change their lives. And so he's went from bankrupt to millions. And again, it's not following the dollar per se, but that's the fruit of his labor. And that's what I'm here to help encourage you guys. It's not, people say, oh, the root of money, gosh, of course, I'm totally butchering that paraphrase or that verse, but it's not the love of money that is evil. I'm totally drawing a blank on that particular verse. And of course, my Bible's holding up my phone, but if you could help me out with that verse, it's the love of money. It's like, like your end goal being for money, but not for I'm totally fumbling in my words, but if you guys can help me out with that verse, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And at the end of the day, money makes the world go round, and money is a great thing. Money would not be helping missionaries and so many of the things that happen. And so people who have more of it, thank you, Gretchen, people who have more money can help more. And you don't give up all of your money, because then you wouldn't have money. You just learn how to build that money over and over and over again. And that's part of leaving a legacy. So the legacy that we're leaving for our family is, yes, number one, eternal, and making sure that we have good values set into our home and good examples, not just because we say, but we are doing. But then also, how we spend our money now. Our children now understand the concept of saving and the fruit of saving and what that gives for us, and us having to say no so that we can say yes later. They've been able to witness that, and they've been able to see that mommy and daddy, as we've, had to be really tight clenched for a season, we're able to loosen up those grips, because we have more to be able to give. And it's not with too much more money than what we had before. And that was actually one thing I meant to share with you, because I had said that we've been able to do this over the last 18 months with no more monetary income. And so I wanted to confirm that, which I apologize, I didn't check before. But I wanted to share last year's income said $43,000. That was for filing taxes for 2017. And then for this year was $39,000, in fact, actually. So on paper, it's showing that we made essentially less for the year 2018 for filing taxes for the year 2018 than we did in 2017. Yet we were able to pay off $24,000 in debt. So it's just to show you that you don't have to be making a lot of money to make this a reality. So that's the legacy we want to leave for our children, is tithing first and foremost. I touched on that in one of my videos. Tithing first, our 10%. And that's not, I don't share with you for boastful reasons, but simply because I'm talking about finances. So tithing first and foremost, our first 10%. And then our next 10% would essentially be going into savings. And then, and obviously that's once we followed the guidelines and recommendations that have been set before us. And then 80% to use for our expenditures. And that's what we are trying to teach our children. And when you are financially free, you are free. You are free with the rest of your life. And that's the legacy we want for our children, for them to be able to carry on for themselves and for their family, should the Lord tarry. But some other really cool quotes that I had read over, reading over notes, it's just so helpful. But one of the things is, when you're wanting to buy something, you don't want to have buyer's remorse or buyer's hangover, where you kind of wake up the next morning and you think, what did I do wrong? We have the temper tantrum child living inside of us. The name of it is called immaturity. So when we buy out of impulse, we're being immature. If that child lives within us when making financial decisions, will always be broke. And broke is not, doesn't have to be your way of life. I feel like my phone just fell over. Maybe that's just me, but I'm going to fix that. Adults devise a plan and follow it. And so I want to be an adult. I no longer want to be childlike. And that's kind of the example that we have been setting for our family. Save up and pay for it. And that's what we've been doing. Saving up, paying for it, or paying it off. If you say no long enough, you'll get to say yes. And like I said, we have said no, 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 no. And now we're able to say yes. And it has just been so freeing. If you say no to some things, you'll get to say yes to other things. And power over purchase. Income is not your answer. Maturity is. And so that's what I was sharing about. Like, we didn't make a lot of money. I mean, in California alone, $40,000 is not a lot of money. I promise you it's not. So just to kind of give you some behind the scenes there, especially not if you have debt. Not at all. So wait overnight when you're wanting to make a purchase, and, make sure that it's a genuine yes. Carefully consider your buying motives. No amount of spending is worth it. Don't meditate spending with dysfunction. And better is always a want. So if you want a better vehicle, or you want, something better, you want good quality things. Like, I don't question that, but like, I have we have two perfectly running vehicles. If I want something better right now, it's a want, it's not a need. So you know, the language we use is reflective of our heart. Like, I'm starving, or I need this. Like, I'm not starving. I've never been starving in my life. I've never experienced starvation, not once. Like, we're teaching our 2-year-old right now, because he'll say, I need that. And we say, no, it's, you want that. So may I have that, please, instead of I need that. And it's crazy because we're correcting our children, but yet we use those very same languages. Like, where did they come from? So right now we are sticking with needs, not wants. And that's something that we've had to communicate with our children. Don't mistake fun for happiness. Buy fun, but don't chase happiness with spending. So I kind of talked about some practical ways to be able to spend, without breaking an arm and a leg. Let me just give you an example. We love Disneyland. We love Disneyland. In fact, we've had annual passes before when we had the means for it, when we could pay cash for it. And then through the times that we've had financial hardship, let me put it to you like this. If I didn't share this, we went from 1 year, our taxes they were at $100,000 to the next year was $40,000. And then the year after that was $27,000. We have had our financial rock bottom for years. That happened from that filing of 100,000 it was in 2000. We did it 2012. So from 2012, we have went down and then we've worked our way back up. But finances isn't everything. It's how you spend it that matters more. But so for the Disneyland passes, we obviously did not renew them once they had their 12-month expiration. We used it. We went like 14 times. But that was something that we purchased when we had taken our oldest son for his 3rd birthday. And so as our second son was approaching his 3rd birthday, we were like, well, that's not fair. Like, I mean, I know we're in these hard times, but couldn't we make Disneyland happen? Now, this was before we kind of had all these values really set firm. And we decided, we went, and God blessed us with Disneyland tickets. A family friend bought us a ticket. And so we only had to pay for, 2 of our tickets instead of 3 of our tickets. And we went like the week before he turned 3. So that way we didn't have to pay for his ticket. So instead of paying for 4 entries, we paid for 3, but then we were gifted 1. So we paid for 2. And then, my husband's parents have the Disney Vacation Club, so we're able to stay there for free. So you pay for food and you take food because you can stay at the resort there. So we did it in the most cost-effective way. Well, now we have our 2-year-old. He's going to be 3. We are taking him to Disneyland, and we're going to have a blast. And you know what's going to pay for that? My earnings, because I can. And it's not something that we're going to stress over, or that we're going to lose sleep over, or that we're going to break the bank over, or anything like that. Extra funds, we have agreed, we're going to be able to do that for our family. That is our little family vacation that we are planning in January when he turns 3. So that is, we're not breaking the bank or chasing what it says, don't mistake fun for happiness. We're going to have fun, but it's not making us happy in the sense of making a foolish choice would be like getting passes when we don't have the means to do so. So if you don't watch it, happiness is a bully in your play yard. My oldest son, he struggles a lot. It's something that we have to work on him pretty regularly. And that's with the contentment part of his world. A lot of his friends don't have the need to do chores or contributions in their home. They get to freely play their Xbox all day long if they wanted to. That's not happening in our home. And he was dealing with some discontentment in that specific area. And so finally we got to get to the root of it after him losing, all privileges and everything like that. And we are going to make hard decisions, like removing everything from our children's lives if they're acting funky. Like, period. That's the end of story. And so as we continue to work, because we always say we care about your heart more than we care about anything else. And, as we started talking a little bit more, we asked him, like, what is going on? Why are you being such a grump? And he was like, well, I don't understand why, I have to do this, and this, and, why I can't just play my Xbox anytime that I want. And we're like, because those are our rules. Like, you're Gonzalez and those are the rules. And so then we kind of said like, okay, so who of your friends get to do this? And he listed off some friends. And we said, do you really think that that's what they're able to do all the time? You really believe they don't have any type of contributions in their home and that they're able to play Xbox all the time? First, we don't know what happens in their home, and we can't speak for anybody else besides our own home. But this is the bottom line. In our home, we are building adults. We are raising adults. We are not raising children that are going to be gaming all day long. Now, if that's what you want to be your career of choice, you're still going to have a job and you're still going to pursue a career and do that on the side. That's just the bottom line. And anybody who, you know, I know YouTube is just this huge thing and you can make lots of money off of it. And I don't negate that. I don't say, I'm not going to sit here and say that you can't do a business from home from YouTube. I do much of what I do is here on Facebook, social media, or YouTube, or Instagram, or Pinterest. Like, I get all of that, but I'm doing a full-time job. I mean, right now I'm doing where I'm raising my children and that type of thing. But like, my husband wants to be an accountant where he helps gamers. He does accounting for gamers. He's not going to be able to start doing that. He has to do a job first and then do that on the side and build his career. And so we just kind of explained that to him and said, the bottom line is that if we sat around and we looked at what everybody else gets over what we get, I mean, yes, we can say boo-hoo on us. You know, we have worked so hard and, you know, this is what we have. We're still in an apartment. We're still barely making it, you know, all of those things. But if you compare yourself to what other people have, you're never going to be content with your life. Like, it's a matter of choosing joy in your season. And so, yeah, like, we can, you know, that seeking for happiness, it can really be a bully in our own lives and in our own hearts. So, never buy anything you don't understand. You know, a lot of people make purchases and like, I mean, I had somebody gift me a pressure cooker and then say, I don't know how to work this. You can have it. I ended up figuring out how to work it, and it's one of the best things I've ever had in my life. But that was a purchase that you should not make if you don't know how it works. Watch YouTube. YouTube is amazing and very helpful if you're wanting to figure out how something works. Consider the opportunity cost. Money cannot be two places at once. Once it's gone, it's gone. What else can you do with this money? My husband, a lot of times, like right now, his big thing is he wants to get a new TV. And there's validation with that. The last time we purchased the TV was when we got married. 2000, oh my gosh, when did we get married? 2010. We bought a TV like 2011, like January 1st. And so, you know, it's been 7 years, and it's not for that TV to be replaced. It's for another TV that is starting to make sounds and whatnot. And that TV is probably like 12 years old. So there's the validity in him wanting to get a new TV. And it's a special TV, and I don't understand much of it, but I understand that he wants it. And so we have not had the go-ahead yet, because that's something we're saving for. But when I say, yes, honey, go ahead and get the TV, I guarantee you he's not going to run out and go get that TV, because he's going to consider the cost, and he's going to consider, okay, what could this really go to? And then at the end of the day, it's his choice. So, and he does have his own special saving money that he is working towards some specific, like he has kind of like his top 3 items. So we'll see how that goes. Seek counsel of your spouse. So make sure that you guys are talking with one another. Virtuous, not a barking chihuahua. Be virtuous. Don't be a barking chihuahua. Trust and work with the one you are supposed to be one with. And that is your spouse if you're married. And if you are single, and if you hold an accountability to God, it is with God or an accountability partner. So that's what I have as far as leaving a legacy, and I hope that you have found that to be of assistance. I do want to touch on commissions, because I said that, and I know that I've gone a little bit longer than anticipated, and I apologize. I'm trying to get you guys as much information as I possibly can. So one of the things is paying your children, not for like to be an active family member of the home. So like, okay, so let me give you, and I can provide this to you. This is the responsibility chart for Cameron. For Caleb, it's a little different because he's still learning to read. So, excuse me, I'm just kind of assisting him. But like, for instance, I'm not paying you to get dressed. I'm not paying you to, we do a diffuser at night to fill that up, to make sure that like the house is, the room is clean and free of toys and whatnot. I'm not paying you to shower, or pack your lunches. Those are things you need to do. They go to school twice a week. But there's other things, like for instance, we have a water filter. It's called a Berkey, and it filters through our water. It's awesome. And it needs to be filled. It needs to be filled more than once a day. And so he gets paid to do it one of the times, and then I do it the other time. That is removing a responsibility from me. So then, yes, I can give him an opportunity to earn. When he does the kitchen, he has the opportunity, obviously. I don't wash any dishes. He does all of my dishes. And I know that someone would say, well, he should do that. Well, I guess that's open for conversation and what works for you in your own home. Here's the bottom line. I'm in an apartment. I can't have my son go pick weeds. I can't have him go out to dump the trash out because it's in a major dumpster that people throw tons of junk in. I just don't feel comfortable with him doing. There's a lot of limits that I have being in apartments, and his responsibilities will look a lot different once we have our own four walls. But for right now, we have a commission opportunity for certain things. Now, let's just say that he wakes up and he's being a punk. He's lost the opportunity to do those commissions, and he does that work for free. And that's happened. So aside from, I know you can't really see it, and I will go through, I'll share this with you. So there's some earnings here. There's like, you can just be a happy family member and do what you're told. And then there's commission opportunities. There's bigger things like weekly, like cleaning the bathroom. I'm not talking about like, you know, spraying something and wiping down. I'm talking scrubbing toilets and that type of thing. Like making sure there's no pee around that stinky toilet of yours. I do pay him for that, but it's a big job. And then he does get fines. So antagonizing siblings, talking back, groaning and complaining, all of those things, you get fines. And there have been weeks that he has, I pay him and then I say, okay, you have $5 of fines. You've now lost your, you know, pay me back. And so that doesn't happen too often because they like earning. So it's for Cameron, he has a starting amount of $7. And from that point, you know, the $7, we show them the value of the 10%. So 10% for giving and 10% for saving. So it essentially would be 70, 70, and then 560. So he has a potential to earn 560 a week. And then we do have a contract, and that kind of states, you know, your responsibilities contract, and kind of that your main responsibilities need to be done before you can earn a commission, and that needs to be done well. And then also that means like don't even ask to play if you want to do Xbox time or anything like that. Don't even ask if those things haven't even been completed. So it's helped with a lot of systems in the home. Also for me being a stay-at-home mom, I'm not the type of mom to say, oh my gosh, I've spent my whole day cleaning up after my kids. No, not even my 2-year-old will I do that. I will teach these kids how to be fully functioning, able-bodied children. Now, I understand if there's disabilities and that type of thing, things look a lot different for you. But if you have able-bodied children, there's no reason, none whatsoever, you should be doing dishes, you should be putting dishes away, you should be throwing out, like, our bathroom trashes go into the main trash. There's a lot of things that I will not do. And it's not because I'm lazy. I'm far from that. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm not. It's because I'm raising adults. These men, these boys are going to be growing up to be men. And eventually, they're going to be married to somebody else. And I would hope that they would be a blessing of a husband to their wife. So once they get paid, so basically Cameron, you know, Caleb, it's just kind of, we're working off of it. I don't want to do like a picture chart and all of that because we're working on reading. So I do really need to get something into play for him to be able to check off. But he has the opportunity to earn $3 a week. And then 30% or 10%, so 30 cents goes to savings and 30 cents goes to giving. If he whines, complains, talks back, you know, there's certain things, then he loses a portion of that. And I just have him give me the coins as it's happening. And it just really helps too with me not yelling. Not to say that I should, but you know, it really helps with that. All right. You know what? Go check off your go check off your thing. Oh, okay. Go give me your chore. Go give me your commission box. Like, we're not dealing with this right now. And it really just, you know, zips it because nobody wants to lose money. So at the end of the week, I have Cameron because he's 10. He adds up his days. Oh, and it does have to be signed off each day. So he adds up his days. at the end of the week, he puts this on my desk, kind of like his timesheet. And then I'm able to allocate, he totals everything up so I know what's for giving, for savings, and for spending. I'll fix that in just a moment. And then we created these boxes. These are Beachbody boxes where I got some orders in, and we, see, it's a P90X. But yeah, so we used duct tape and we decorated them however they wanted. This is Caleb's. And I did 3 different little boxes, you know, openings here. And so this is giving, saving, and spending. And it's really neat to hear them kind of explain how it all works. But so they chose, like at our church, there's different ministries that you can partner with. So this one's for children in Nkumba, and it's getting pretty full. So he'll be able to just personally drop this in at church. So kind of teaching him, you know, not to have a tight grip on his money. And then he has his, whoops, sorry guys. He has his savings here, and he has his spending. And it's worked really, really well. And I know some people will say, like, and I wasn't raised this way. I wasn't raised to, I mean, I guess I had allowance as I got older, but it was kind of like you do what you're told and you don't get paid for it. You do it because you're an active family member. Well, guess what? I didn't grow up to be a responsible adult with my finances. So my kids are more responsible with their money than I ever could have been at the age of 18 plus. So, you know, you choose your battles. That's up to you. All I'm sharing is simply tools with hopes that you find them to be helpful. So that's all I have. I know it was plenty and it's a mouthful, and I'm ready for some water and some lunch. I hope you guys all have a great day. Again, questions, comments, please share them with me. I need to know how I'm doing, and I need to know if I can help answer any questions that I haven't done so already. Tomorrow's our last day. Oh my goodness. So there's more to come though. And again, questions, comments below. And if you haven't caught all the other videos, please take the time to do so and share in comments your feedback. Thanks everybody.